y'all, today's episode, this is a special episode. This is an episode that has been in the works since I started the Undone podcast. So, Undone family, help me welcome two queens that are super important in my life. My two big sisters, Tracy and Veronica. Woo! Cheers! So I'm so excited to have you guys on, and the reason that I wanted to have you both on was because April 10th is National Sibling Day, and I was like,
oh, National Siblings Day. Oh,
I have the best sibling. I have the best that get on my nerves, but I love them so much in the world. So I had to do this episode, even though I got a little pushback from the oldest.
Did.
So here we are. We made it. So cheers.
Oh, we made it.
We made it.
Raise your glass again. Raise your glass. Cheers.
Yay. Cheers.
So here we are. I'm so excited. I want to just dive right in. Are y'all ready?
Dive. Yes.
Are y'all comfortable? Are y'all good?
We're good. It's
Okay.
Friday. The sun is out. It's been a week. So let's do it.
And
Let's
before
go.
we get started, I want to just say rest in peace and send our condolences to the family and friends of DMX. He passed away today, April 9th. And we just want to say that our prayers are with them. So
absolutely. I definitely
really
with
sad.
them. If nobody else I want to rest in peace is definitely DMX, because he had tumultuous time periods in his life. So
he did. And we know all too well about addiction in our family. We dealt with that with our dad.
we have.
And so we definitely can understand, what that family may be going through. So we just want to send our condolences.
Completely. It's a struggle. Definitely. It is.
Okay, so I'm ready to dive in, girls. Y'all look happy.
Let's go.
So both of you are successful. You guys have paved the way for me, for my nieces. Shout out to my two that are in the back. One is out of town on vacation in Tulum. Shout out Victoria. Shout out Morgan. Shout out Peyton. They're in the back.
I
want you to
and don't forget
the Queen Bee.
Yes.
Mama is in the house. Is she gonna get on the camera?
Building.
Yes.
Is she gonna say hi to the people? Or
she said no,
please.
not today. She said not today.
Okay. Well, hi, Queen Bee. If it weren't for her, we wouldn't be here today. So
would not. I agree. Thank you, Jesus.
Would not. So we're doing things a little different, right? So
okay, that's why it's undone.
It's undone. Usually I'm introducing the guests, but I want you two to tell the people who you are. You guys are both successful. You have successful careers, successful lives, families. Tell the people. Veronica, I'll start with you. You're the oldest.
Yes. Better known as Miss Community.
Miss Community.
Listen, well, Ashley, I have to tell you, I'm really excited to be here. Maybe excited is not the right word. Honored to be here. You know, this is probably not really my space, but I'm really happy to be able to join you on for the sisters edition of the podcast. But anyway, I'm the oldest. I am a mother of two amazing young women, 28 and 17. I have a senior. I've been married. Yes, 2021. I've been married for 21, soon to be 22 years.
What?
So, everybody knows that.
That's sweet.
And then, I've done a lot of things in my career.
Cheers. 21 years.
To marriage, honey.
Cheers to marriage.
So as far as my career is concerned, I've just done a lot of things. And really, the short story of my career is really service. So I've worked across several different entities in government, state government, federal government, healthcare. But at the end of the day, all of it ties back to being in a position that will serve the people. So I'm really honored and privileged to be able to have done this for so long. So that's really it. There's no point in me going through all of the different jobs and things. But I will say, though, probably the highlight of my career has been being able to serve, under the first African-American president and under that administration. and working on, a lot of different signature pieces of legislation and rollout. So I'm excited about that.
Right. That's huge.
Bow down. That's why I'm gonna let the queens introduce themselves because the list goes on. Shout out to you. Okay.
Thank you.
My first source of inspiration. Okay, Trey, you want to tell the people?
Yeah. I mean, I really don't know how to go behind all of this greatness.
Girl. She's a Virgo. She knows how to go behind the greatness.
No. That's the truth.
No,
I don't know how to go behind all this
No. This one here is giving me the blues. But anyway, okay.
So, yay, Tracy. So I am the middle child without a middle child syndrome for the people. Wouldn't you all agree?
Okay, Virgo in the house.
Drink to that. Okay, I'll drink to my own non-middle child syndrome. But so I am the we all are multifaceted, right? So I am the mom to a very robust future astronaut, engineer, who's all wrapped up in an 8-year-old body. Yay, my Peyton, who is truly my life's work. Whoa. I've been married for almost 10 years. Yay to Jay Free, Jerry Freeny, better known as Jay Free. What? Toast to almost 10 years.
AKA chips and cheese.
Yes, AKA chips and cheese. Because I enjoy life and I smile a lot. Ding dong.
She does.
And yes, I do. So I really enjoy what do I do for career? So the good thing about it is, so like I told you, all this greatness here. So when I was fresh out of college, I was fresh out of college. I wanted to be a sports entertainment attorney. And so, different life hurdles, different things. I did go back to school to get my MBA, where I was working toward going back to law school. And then, life happened, really them bills happened.
Right.
And so there, you have to be pivot, you have to be ready to flex and be ready to pivot. I would definitely say that would be the theme of my career, would be flexing and pivoting. So I started off, and which is my true passion even now. I love it. I'm the boy my dad never had. So enjoy sports to the utmost. I worked for the Mavericks, and then 9/11 happened. And then I saw, you saw fans shrinking, coming to, sporting events. And this one here, ding, 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 asked me, had I ever thought about a career in healthcare, in the healthcare space? At that particular time, we really call her Miss Community. Miss Community. Because
she Miss Resource too, because she is resource.
But it's in a, when she says she has a heart for service, it's not that she just talking to talk. Like literally on a daily basis, she walks the walk. Right. Exactly. So, but I would say that I made a pivot, went to work for a nonprofit with the American Diabetes Association here in Dallas. And then after that, then I did another pivot into medical sales. So now I'm currently a pharmaceutical sales specialist with AstraZeneca in the diabetes space. 13 years. Woo-hoo. I've really found a stride. And what I believe the stride is, especially in light of everything that happened last year with George Floyd, and then the events leading up to George Floyd, and the Black Lives Matter movement, I'm definitely with inclusion and diversity in making certain that there are diverse panels, interview panels within AstraZeneca, and making sure that I can show up as my authentic self to work. Those things are very important. Authentic. Like all of it, shaved on one side, not a very traditional cookie cutter pharmaceutical rep, because again, we're all very multifaceted. So there you have it. Yay.
And you were a teacher. You were also a middle school teacher.
Yes, I was a middle. See what I'm talking about? You got to be ready to pivot in life. You can't, don't just like be in a box. Don't say, I'm the square L7.
Oh, gosh. Let me ask this. Given you guys' Veronica, I'll start with you. What were your aspirations as a child? Like, what things were you into when you were little that you know, thought of maybe doing when you got older? What things were you in? What were your interests
Ooh, I'm not
when you
on
were
drink
little?
already.
I honestly, I don't know what my interests were when I was little. I
Mm-hmm.
think
Oh,
as
Barbara
I
Joy.
got older, I think it was more, I don't know that I would necessarily say interest. I think probably what I was more drawn to, probably unintentionally,
Mm-hmm.
was just, an interest in, I've always been interested in, history and culture and,
Yes.
what's going on with people. And, I naturally gravitate to taking care of people. And, I think that, as time went on, it just kind of felt right, once you start moving into those kinds of career paths and doing that thing, even, because, you know, I, you know, I spent a lot of time not really knowing exactly what my career was going to be or what I wanted to do with my life.
Right.
So, I know a lot of people when they're younger, they say, oh, when I grow up, I want to be this or what. I don't really have any memories of necessarily saying that, but I knew that things that excited me,
Mm-hmm.
as I think back, were things that involved caretaking and other people and really understanding what was happening, who were the people in my family, what
Mm-hmm.
did they do, who were their parents, and so
Right.
on and so forth. So I always had a really genuine interest in just really my history, culture, and then what things kind of shaped that. So, and I think with that it kind of made me more aware, particularly as I got older, of, kind of really embracing, being African American or being Black, and, growing up, in a family of people, a lot of people that have very, very humble beginnings,
Right.
but I still always just something about them that life I always was drawn to, but now that I'm older, I know why, because they were always moving and pushing towards helping and making it greater for the next generations to come. So I think that's really kind of, you know, really what I feel my journey in life is about. What can I do that will A, help the next person, and B, help make for my children and my family and my nieces and siblings and so on and so forth. What can we do to be better?
I think that that's so important what you just said, that you did not know, right?
Did not know.
When
Mm-mm.
you
Right.
were younger. And I think that that's so important because we were just having this conversation when y'all were here in LA a few weeks
Mhm.
ago with Morgan because she is going to Spelman on a full ride.
Woo!
Shout out to you.
HBCU matters.
And we
Woo,
were
woo, woo.
talking about that whole thing of, her deciding and picking her major. And you were saying, we were having the discussion of, it's okay if you don't know. What advice could you share, if you don't mind, with the viewers of, because like you said, you didn't know what you wanted to do necessarily, but you found your way, you found your thing as you got older. What advice would you share on, it's okay not to know, but, keep doing the things and eventually it will get there. What advice would you share?
I just want to tell people, it's kind of like, not to be really cliche-ish, but, it's kind of like, when you find something that you're passionate about, the money will find you. So, and I say that because a lot of people chase careers and professions for the financial gain. Now, I'm all for, getting your
A
bag
coach,
built up. I'm not
right?
against that. And I worked a lot of
Give me a
years to try,
bag. Get the bag.
but what I'm saying
Okay.
is, I just think that, we have to also teach our children and, and younger generations that it's okay to be trying to figure things out.
Mhm.
Right. And it's a way to figure things out without just being, um, not having any kind of goals or aspirations.
Right.
You really need to allow people the time to just kind of go through life, figure out the things that are really meaningful to them, and then just build on that. And I think that when people do that, they'll find that all these other things that fit right into the thing that is built just for them is going to come to them naturally. Those opportunities are going to come because you are actually sitting and being who you are and being driven by the things that are the most important to you. So I just say, we really should not, generations are changing. So I just don't think we should just say, it used to be.
Right.
You know,
It did.
you got to be a lawyer, a doctor, or
Yeah.
Always.
and then that's how you're going to be successful. And you got to go get a job, you got to go to college, and then that's how your path in life has to be successful.
Right.
But I took a lot of different alternate routes there. I have, I'm a college graduate and so on and so forth, and I Prairie View A&M University. Let me shout out to PV. But, there was,
Okay. Okay.
but there was, but I just would say
Right.
that my path was probably a little non-traditional in that I didn't really know. I made some mistakes along the way while I was trying to figure it out, but I always knew that whatever it was, it had to feel right for me. So I would see a lot of my friends that, had, everybody gotten into their careers and, making really good money. And I wasn't making so much money.
Right.
But I had said to myself that I really would not, and life can take you different ways, but I'm just fortunate that, it hadn't happened for me yet. But I just would not work in a job that I did not like, or that I did not have any passion for, that I didn't, enjoy getting up and going to work. And, and that's not, and I don't want anybody to take that as being, oh, well, people have to do what they have to do. I get that. I'm not saying that.
You did.
I'm just saying for me though.
Right.
But I turned down jobs where there were opportunities because where I could make more money, because it just didn't feel good for me. And that might not be everybody's path.
Right.
But, eventually, and I took a longer way to get there, but I can say that I absolutely love what I do. And, it just was my journey, my path. And I think it's okay to not know, as long as you are staying true to yourself and who you are. Meet your needs and your bills and stuff. Now you got to be able to pay your bills and stuff.
I agree.
But, that's just what I was saying.
If I could just add one point to that, is that I think that that's one of the things about Western education, Western cultures that we've adapted, that piece, they got it wrong.
Right.
To ask a 17, 18-year-old to decide that day of entrance into college or exit from high school, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Right.
Is truly a disservice to that individual, because again, you are so much more than, like, you're multifaceted. You're much more than that. So when we can truly parent in different seasons and parent and say, like what Veronica said, like, choose a path where you are truly delighted and it's your life's work. Choose that before you get to be 45. And then you like, oh Lord, I got to pay bills. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the reality. But I think that's the one piece about Western culture education system that they got wrong.
Right.
There's several others, but I don't want to get on my soapbox.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna dive into this whole aspect of sisterhood and us growing up. I just want to dive into that because this is the sister episode 10 of the Undone podcast. And so I'm gonna start with you, Veronica, because you're the oldest. But let me clarify: I'm the oldest in Delta. Shout out.
Shout out to the best sorority in the land.
Best sorority. What was it like for you growing up as an only child? Prior to Tracy joining you 7 years later.
Yeah, lonely. I'm gonna tell you now, lonely.
Time for you, like,
can't have all of this.
Girl. What was that like for you?
Growing up as only, I think for the 7 years that I spent as an only child, I because we had, I think I was blessed in that, I got to experience our parents in a period where they two were doing some of what we just talked about.
Right.
They were learning, they were trying to figure things out. They were both young. They were both coming, from, fairly humble beginnings or what have you, moving to, big cities. And, and they were kind of following that path of what society had told them to do.
Right.
So, during that time, I think I really benefited from, being the only child with parents that had the ability to show a lot of love,
Right.
but at the same time be able to be vulnerable, and know that they didn't, not know what they didn't know, but doing the best that they could. So I wouldn't know that now until I think back over that period, right?
Okay.
So to think about, you got two parents in college and one is in, then your other parent is in law school, and then your mom is, the person that's working at home with you, and your dad's trying to study, and so on and so forth. And just remembering, that time with them, it's different than the times that our kids have with us. So I think I just, it was a really good time. For what I remember, it just was a lot of love, young people in love, trying to figure things out. Of course, yes. I know that now. I didn't know that they were trying to figure it out then, but I wouldn't know, that there were any struggles, at that time. So, it was good for me, and then some more people joined the party and kind of things.
Speaking of,
then it became a party.
So Trey, you're the
party of four.
And just to let everybody know, I'm the youngest. Tracy and I are 7 years apart. Veronica and Tracy are 7 years apart. Veronica and I are 14 years apart. So just to give y'all a little clarity on that, Trey, you're the middle.
Yes.
We're 7 years younger than Veronica. What was the dynamic between you two, like when you guys were coming up? Like, Veronica, when you were 14, Tracy was 7. What was that dynamic like?
Girl, she always been the boss. Don't play. I'm the big sister, and it's what I say. So I guess in her 7 years prior to me, she learned how to solidify her spot as the oldest.
As the boss.
As the boss. I think maybe Mama and Daddy told her she was the boss one too many times.
I was the boss.
And it has carried on. That is how it is. And that's
she was
how
in charge. She was in charge, whatever.
The queen is commenting in the background.
The queen just wanted to say hello because she did know.
Okay.
Queen. The queen's gonna peep in and say hello.
The queen's coming by the stage. What's up?
Come on, queen.
We get it from my mama. You might have to come around this way.
Right here. Right here, mama.
Okay.
We get it from my mama.
The queen just want to say that she reared 3 beautiful queens who are continuing to rear their princesses to be terrific queens. I'm very proud of my girls because they are strong. They are very much so in tune to who they are, which is what I wanted to instill in them, to be who you are and persevere with whatever your life desires are. So, as being the mother of 3 beautiful queens and 3 beautiful granddaughters, I am a very proud mom because it shows in everything that they've done and everything they continue to do.
Yeah,
good to have you as our queen, honey, our leader.
We love you,
leader.
We love you.
So V, you said you were just reared to be the boss. I have to ask you, because you are the leader, right? I feel like you're the leader within our sister circle, but also the leader. You talked a little bit about this at the beginning about family and being intrigued with history and what's going on within the family. I feel like you also have that knack within our family, our bigger family, right?
Yeah, she planned the family reunion.
I want to. She does. What does the role for you of a big sister, what does that mean to you? Because I know that you're mom, you're a leader in so many areas, right? So in the role of a big sister, what does that mean for you?
For me, I would say, and some people might find this a little might not be the first thing somebody would say. I really see it as a protector.
You are.
I see it, because like you said, we're all 7 years apart. And, our parents were working. So I was the other mama now. Let's be clear. So I did spend a lot of time treating you two girls as if you were my children, combing hair and walking and picking up from daycare, walking to pick up from daycare and and just really, trying to fill in for my mom, while she was working, in the evenings and stuff like that. So I just see it, and so a protector means so many different things, and y'all know I get, but it, it means a lot of different things, but it's just, your responsibility to take care and look out for the people that you say or you consider are important to you.
Absolutely.
So I think that you just have to, if you're going, because there's a lot of people that have different dynamics in terms of, their sibling situation. Right. So I think we're really blessed in that, even in my bossiness, I'm really not bossy though. I don't really know how that goes.
It's not the podcast not long enough to address it.
But anyway, so I'm just gonna say, I'm a protector. I take care of my sisters and I take care of those that are in my circle that are important to me. And that's just, who I am now. Now sometimes everybody might not like my protective ways.
Just saying amen.
But at the end of the day, they always know that it's all done because I care and because I love you so much.
That's right. It's not undone, it's all done.
Did y'all hear the queen in the background? Because mama is like, she even bosses her around too.
Yeah, no, because she has.
Okay, moving along. So then in '83.
What?
Joined
it just went up a notch.
It went up. It went boom, boom.
It was like you was in the club and the sirens going off.
So I want to know. So you guys have y'all rhythm, right? So in '83, when I'm born, y'all have a rhythm at this point. It's like two kids, two parent. Y'all have the nice home. Y'all are like black, not blackish. Y'all are the black family.
Yeah, we weren't black. We were straight black. Southern black.
Southern black in Oak Cliff.
Black Hiller.
1630.
Russell Bling. So then I joined the crew.
Upscale. You were upscale.
This the sister podcast. This the sisters podcast. The Mother's Day is coming in.
Oh,
this is the sisters.
But just don't.
This the sisters. This the sisters.
Okay. So then, so this is real, y'all. This is not going to be edited out. So then, like I said, in '83, I joined the group. And y'all are in y'all's group. Y'all are like in school. Y'all have a rhythm. How did the dynamic change when I joined? Were y'all like, oh, we have a little chocolate sibling? Or did y'all like,
girl, you were my baby.
Girl, didn't nobody care about we weren't saying no chocolate sibling. We were just like
happy.
What? We having a little bitty person? Like I'm not gonna be the youngest. And I felt like at that point, I could be the boss of somebody. But then you don't listen to me. So I couldn't be the boss of you either. So it was like, oh well.
So how did that dynamic change? Tracy, did you feel like what did you feel like? Did you feel like, oh, this is my chance to be like a big sister now? Or like,
oh yeah, absolutely. I felt like I learned from the best. So I was gonna be that big sister, but I was gonna be a little more gentle in my
wait a minute.
I was just playing. I wasn't gonna be as bossy. I was going to be a listening big sister.
And how do you think you did?
I think I did good. I can remember this one time where you were maybe 6 months old. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell that story. Because it's a couple of different stories too. I ain't gonna tell the time about how I just got my hair done. Fresh perm, 80 what? 86, 85, perm. I skipped the whole Jerry curl scene and went straight to the perm, and I thought I was cute. Somebody didn't think I was cute enough that I needed carpet freshener in my hair.
She wanted you to smell good.
Girl, good night.
Yeah, that's what I said, girl, good night. But I was just like, okay, but we're gonna have to figure this out, dust it out, and make it happen. But the story that I was gonna tell was you were probably about 6 months old. You were basically where I couldn't pick you up. I couldn't pick you up.
I don't remember that.
I do. I couldn't pick you up, so I had to sit with you in the bed.
Really?
In mama's bed, and mom and daddy bed. So then you were fussy, and there was something about my bottom lip that just reminded you of like
Girl, I don't know why you have to tell
of chicken or just. Oh, I'm sorry, you vegan now. It just reminded you of a good broccoli sprout or something. I don't know. But you got a hold of that bottom lip and you sucked it so hard. I looked like Eddie Murphy in the Nutty Professor.
Girl.
But you were content. So it was my honor to let you suck on my lip.
Oh, thank you for the honor. Veronica and Tracy, what was like y'all's favorite memory? Because I have so many memories from living on Russell Glen. What was y'all's favorite memory when we were little? I always think about how Peyton cries when I come home and leave. And I remember when I used to do that with you when you would go to school, Veronica.
Oh, yeah.
And I did that with Tracy, but I remember being like, just how Peyton be like, just in tears crying because you were leaving. What's a fond memory that you guys can talk about from just us being kids and us not having the weight of the world on our shoulders, like us just being kids,
Yes.
being free? Can y'all speak to that?
Well, I'll say it would be two things. One would be the Christmas time for sure, hands down. Christmas time,
Christmas,
yes, touchdown.
And
Christmas, it was on. But I can remember. This is a part that like make me feel good in my spirit, in my heart, everything. It's like the times when we would have cookouts. And and daddy would cook out and he would take everything out of the cabinets to season the meat. And then people would come over. I don't know whether it be family members were coming in from out of town, like Uncle Perry and Gloria, Granny and Pawpaw, the aunts and uncles, everyone. And the reason why it just does my heart so good. I remember like the music would come on, like and it would be like a record player. Then Ashley was doing the prep. She'd be doing the prep, girl. We'd just be dancing. And it's funny because like even now, like when we have get-togethers at the house, I can see myself telling Peyton, come on, Peyton, dance, do it, girl, do the dance. Just egging them on. And the other thing, but what you didn't know in the background, what it was teaching you, it was like to be your authentic self, be who you are. Unapologetic. Yes, unapologetic. Even if you ain't got no rhythm, even if you can't do it, just be you. And not only that, but it was like teaching you to, like dance like nobody's watching, like live your life, like just be in life and just be there and like don't be afraid to get up in front of people.
Right. I think that for me would be we got a little side work going on. So one of the things that was good this is my turn, right?
I know. I'm sorry.
So I would say one of the good memories, that just takes me back to, Russell Glen was just the memories of, just sitting out, on the deck. We had this fabulous patio deck that was really high off the ground. And, daddy would, he would cut the yard. I remember him very vividly in his sweatsuit, cutting the yard. And and I'd sit out back and watch, and then, or go downstairs under the patio and play under there, just all by myself,
Right.
just to myself, or just the moments and the memories of being in that house. Now, of course, when we did have things in that house that happened very, very regularly. And that was, we had one particular family, literally almost every weekend. So we are just about like siblings, that's Zenobia and Valerie, right?
Yes.
And so I remember, Mom and Verla sitting in the living room, laughing and talking noise and music playing about something. And then, the kids, we sitting in the foyer in the front in the hall, playing jacks on the floor. So those were things those are the kind of memories that always come to mind. Just, fun and family was a centerpiece of what went on at our house, and just, the aroma at the house, the aroma of, your daddy's pipe coming through.
And the carpet fresh.
And the carpet fresh, and the lines, and the required lines, and the carpet.
And
for the vacuuming, because you don't clean up.
Those, so out cleaning with Ajax
and Windex.
And comment.
Yes. Yeah, I should say comment, probably not, but both. Yeah. So anyway, just, kind of what Tracy said, certainly, of course, Christmas time, that was always beautiful. And we always had real trees. We didn't have artificial trees. Yes. So that's a fond memory that we always
going
had.
to pick it out and
really
bringing it home.
Our home was really home. It was home. It was just, a good vibe, good feeling with family, friends. And so I enjoyed that.
And y'all even went to go and
our neighbors
recently, and it made me cry. It made me tear up.
It was surreal.
It was very surreal. Me too.
It was just seeing it.
It looks very different, but it's still the memories.
Yeah. I want to know from you. You two are both moms, and speaking of our childhood, how did our childhood and us growing up inform how you parent and how you approach being a mom?
You want me to go first?
Tracy, you can go.
Well, the thing about it is I'm a late bloomer. So Peyton is 8. So I would definitely say it would be 2 things. One is, we don't have another child in the house with us, right? And even though she has an older sibling, like they're 23 years apart, that one of the things, especially with Victoria and Morgan, that I always tell Victoria, you still in my will. I haven't rewrote it. So if she get to acting sideways, she your responsibility. Like instilling that, Victoria is the oldest grandchild.
Right.
Like her mom is the oldest, and that responsibility of watching after Morgan and Peyton falls on her too, even after it's said and done. But one of the things that I definitely instill in Peyton is the fact that we don't, like a lot of times now, especially like in some certain friend groups, a lot of times they refer to adults as by their first name.
Right.
That's one of the things, we ain't do none of that when we was growing up. So it's always a Miss such and such, or Mr. such and such, or whatnot. Or and it's a whole bunch of aunties and a whole bunch of uncles. So that's the blessing. Yep.
I would say that I took a good mixture of growing up in the era that I did, because like you said, I think, and so I have the opportunity to kind of learn how to do it 2 ways, I guess, if you will, but one was always consistent, and like what Tracy said, being respectful of your elders. And, we just don't have, that's just not some things that we just don't do in our house. But I think, as I was raising or with Victoria, since she's my oldest, she came at a different time in my life. So I was not married.
Right.
So I was determined as a younger mother, I think I was 24 with Victoria, as a younger mother, that my child was going to be obedient. I was not going to have, an undisciplined child, because that was something that, we were not, we were good kids. I think we were good children. We were not disobedient. We were good children. So
Girl.
So I think that I took that piece from my childhood in terms of how I was raised and what I was accustomed to, not just with my parents, but also, with my grandparents and aunts and uncles and so on and so forth.
Right.
And then when Morgan came along, it's a little, the generation shift a little bit. I can admit, I'm very stern. But you get a little older and you let her just a little this much more slide. But not to the level of disrespect, right?
Yeah.
We know not disrespectful.
You can relate.
And what I also learned, but here's the deal with the parenting thing. I think that growing up as a younger woman and as I got old, like into my early teens and 20s, I would say that I had a very good open relationship with with mama. So we could talk, and we could talk and have conversations, and she was always really honest with me. And I think that is something that I tried to be consistent with between both of my girls. So when I say I had an opportunity to kind of do it two different ways, I was pretty strict with Victoria. With Morgan, I'm strict but I had to learn that I need to maybe parent a little bit different, maybe.
Okay.
They both turned out good now.
I agree. They did.
They both turned out, phenomenal young ladies. But, but what I had to learn is, though, that your two kids are two individual people.
Right.
So, and you have to know how to parent them accordingly. That don't mean that they be disrespectful or don't know how to act. But, there are different layers to that. And because, see, this youngest one is a little bit more like me. So I have to work a little. I have to do stuff a little bit.
Because she mouthy too.
Yeah.
Well, no, the oldest Victoria is mousy. Victoria is like me, and they both are mousy. Victoria is just not as outspoken. Morgan is more outspoken. Victoria doesn't say as much. She'll be she
got that old school.
But anyway, Victoria. So that's how I said I took both of those mixtures to learn how, because our grandparents and stuff, it wasn't no adapting. All your kids get treated the same way, and everybody has to do it the way that they said to do it. Because I vividly remember my uncle getting a whooping with a belt, and he had a wife and children. So I probably wouldn't go that far. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. So what I'm saying is, you take different things and you adapt according to your children.
That's fine.
How has motherhood? So, Veronica, you talked about being a young mother at 24. Tracy, you were older.
Mature.
I
said mature.
How did motherhood change? What was that experience like? So, Tracy, I'll start with you. Being an older woman, you got married older. Talk to us a little bit about that for you. How did motherhood change you?
Yeah. I would definitely say, motherhood gave me a more global perspective. Meaning it had me looking at the world from like a lot. Just like more than just Dallas, Texas, more than just the United States, like the impact globally of like where this child could go. How could she be a dual citizen? How, what can she do and how the impact that she can make. Because ultimately one thing that growing up that my grandparents, my mom always told us that each generation you want them to be more successful than you.
Right.
So thinking along those lines. And then also like wanting to be present. Wanting to be present. One of the things that I did, I can't speak for either of you two, but one of the things that I really wanted or craved for growing up was a parent to be home. I was a latchkey kid during that time in the 80s. I wanted a parent to be home when I got home. So I wanted to make sure that I was present with her during formative years right now and just like be, my whole soul in, like 10 toes, everything, and be present for her. And I would, you was, that's why I wanted a parent to be at home. So I would have to be just, good do this. You gonna turn that TV off. You ain't watching no more TV. What? If a parent was there, I ain't have to do all of that. Exactly.
I was following instructions.
Yeah, sure, instructions. So I would definitely say it definitely it matured me in other ways.
Right. B, what would you say? Being a younger mom, your experience was different, right? You spoke to that. You were intent on making it different for Victoria. How did that change you? How did becoming a mom change you?
I think that becoming a mom, it really made it. I had to sacrifice at a level that I had never had to sacrifice before. I had to really start making, even just better financial decisions. And I still got something wrong, but, I just had, it matured me in the way that, in the sense that I had to really, really understand that it was all or nothing when it came to my kid, meaning I had to be all in, because partially in or a halfway in would not be sufficient. And I wanted to make sure that, number one, she knew that she was loved, she knew that she was protected, and she knew that if nobody else in the world cared about her and was going to have her back, that I was going to be that person.
Yes.
So that meant, giving up and not being able to do some of the things that I have been accustomed to being able to do.
Right.
So it really was about a lot of sacrifice, even though, although, Wendell and I weren't married at that time, but we were still, we were co-parenting, but it was still me, it was still mama. And I had to always be there and be present. So I think the sacrifice was what I had to do. And it it changed me in a lot of other ways, and it prepared me, for my next child, because, who would ever thought that I'd drive 50 miles, 60 miles a day.
One direction.
I can't believe that's what.
And then, speaking of sacrifice, they're going to laugh about this. Y'all remember when Peyton was first born and I said, no, we're not going to listen to the music.
Girl,
we're gonna only listen to Kinder music, and we're not gonna watch TV. No
girl,
TV.
Now she know more songs than me. Be telling
all of them. All of them.
That is not the song. Really?
Ashley.
So much for that. So much for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told y'all would laugh.
The things that y'all have going on. Y'all are wives. Y'all are moms. Y'all are shaping and birthing these beautiful, and have shaped and birthed these beautiful young women to be productive people in society. How do you carve out time for yourself? Like, what do you?
Girl, let me tell you.
How do you practice self-care? Like, what are some ways besides a cocktail?
Well, let me just say
that you do self-care
now, and this is just in the last, I'd say probably 5-10 years. I try to make sure, well, before the pandemic, of course, I tried to always get in a good girls trip every year. I try to just
Queen of trips.
Well,
because I had friends that have been traveling for years and years and years, and I would never ever go because of my commitment to my children. And for a long time, of course, it was only Victoria for 11 years. So I never even considered, I would never leave my daughter.
But honey, now she leave green.
I had to learn though that it's okay. I had to learn that it's okay to take some time for yourself, and actually you need that time for yourself, because my friends I have a little nickname that my friends call me, and that is Amber. So I'll let everybody figure out what that means on their own. But because I'm always worried, concerned, want to make sure my children are good, they're safe, they're protected. What environment are they in? Where are they? And if I was gone and MIA, no, how could I be there to protect them and care for them? So, but I have learned over the years that it's okay. You can have a balance.
Right.
And I still don't do a lot of it. So, you know, and if I'm not going to go somewhere, then I do, you know, I just spend time with my, you know,
yeah.
I hang out with my girlfriends and my sister. You know, we hang out. We have good friends. She took over all of my friends. So we hang out. You know, so we go out for dinner. We go out for cocktails.
Yeah.
And that's you know, that's what we do, you know. But we're fortunate enough to have, you know, a lot of friends that have children in the same age. So
Right.
one of the things that I also do, though, you know, I enjoy getting together and just having a good time. Now with that, I take my children with me now, but that's what I do. So
And
really not that much.
How do you carve out space?
Nice.
How do you carve out space, honey, for your self-care? Because you like to go get your nails done, you get your hair done, you go to a cocktail hour. What do you like to do?
Oh, look, you make it seem like I just do all of this.
Well, I don't do quite all of that. I'm not regular.
I'll just say this. I have had my 5-year-old, 4-year-old, 8-year-old now in the nail shop with me. Like, you take them with you and you make it happen. But I will definitely say I believe in self-care. Self-care is very important.
Right.
And I mean, like when I say I'm much like Veronica, very protective about and very guarded about who I allow Peyton to be around.
Right.
So with that being said, like she had a babysitter one time who basically told her at 4 that she wasn't a doctor. And I was like, who are you? Like, how are you going to tell this small toddler that she's not a doctor? Right. Yes, she is. I mean, no, she has not finished medical school, but she's a doctor. So that was the first and last time in her mind. She was. But that was the first and last time she babysat because of that. So with that being said, and that's like I know some people may say, oh, that ain't nothing. You can let her keep her. So I was like, no, I don't believe in all of that. Right. But I will say what I'm truly grateful for is to be in the same city as my sister and having her and Morgan as my like ride or dies. Like I can leave Peyton with Morgan. I can call Morgan, and we're gonna be heartbroken.
Are you okay?
August. We're getting there. I'm trying to like prepare my mind right now. But yeah, I could not do it without Morgan. I mean, I'm just gonna say that. I'm just saying this thing. And Veronica, I could not do it without both Morgan and Veronica. And Victoria too. Victoria standing the gap too. So I couldn't do self-care without them.
I had a moment.
What was your moment?
I'm glad for the village. Grateful for the village.
What was your moment, B?
The flashes are there.
Oh, girl,
it's menopause season.
The little flashes too. Mama said I need to get them too. But I'm not sure. I be getting a little flashes.
We're over our time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, wait. Y'all have somewhere to go?
No, but we were being mindful of you because you
I already did.
Yeah, because remember, I have a hard stop.
Anyway, what advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
Oh, girl.
My advice to my 20-year-old self is to say it's okay to not be in the same space or place in life as everyone else around you. It's okay. Chart your own path, get there the way that you get there, and don't do any comparisons. Don't do any I wish, only if this would have happened, or if this had not happened, then I would be able to be like this person, that person, and that person. That's what I tell myself. Don't worry about it. Do you. You'll get there.
Okay, that was
I
good.
would say to
I
my.
received that too. I'm 37, but I received it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say that was your 20-year-old self. Thank you.
But
Okay.
Well, that might have been maybe my 22-year-old self, but let me back up. My 20-year-old self, I probably say get out of that baby dome a little bit and get back in the play.
yeah, you know
Like,
Your
that.
20-year-old self.
yeah,
You'll
my
be
20-year-old self. Let me back up. Yeah, 20.
You was in the alumni or the baby dome?
Both.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all was having parties at alumni too?
The
No,
old gym.
you were just
Old
hanging.
gym. Old gym.
Oh,
Old
I
gym.
meant the baby dome. I was gonna say that's a big party.
Okay, Trey,
Old
what
gym.
advice would you give
Old
to
gym.
your 30-year-old self? You just left there a few years ago, so.
I agree. A few years ago.
No, not a few, but
Yeah.
you and
Yeah.
your
Thank
you
you.
and your
Really?
40
Didn't nobody ask
30-year-old
you
self.
to do the math?
30-year-old.
Did nobody ask you to do math?
Come on, what advice?
So I would say to my 30-year-old self that if this is your worst day, girl, you doing good. Don't worry about it. Like this life is gonna pass. And what you think is your worst day, keep living.
You not lying about that.
You ain't live. You'll be all right. And you're gonna get through that too. You're gonna be all right.
Complete this statement. My sisters are.
The bomb.
All right.
Okay. My everything.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I would like to be mentioned in your. Do y'all miss me in Texas?
Yes.
Like what? My sisters
Well,
are
you
my.
said this was the unknown.
Yeah. And what would you? How would you
You said
complete
you
the
wasn't-
statement? How would you complete the statement? My
My
sisters
heart.
are
My heart.
Okay.
my heart.
Y'all know I lived my life for y'all for the longest. Like I had to like live for y'all, but then I was like, I have to just. That advice you gave, that's good to your 20-year-old self. I felt that.
You felt that? Mm-hmm.
I did. What is one thing you would change about your childhood?
Childhood?
Mm-hmm.
I would probably change some, well, without a doubt, some of the I don't want to call it trauma. I'll just say some of the disappointing things that happen being, living in a home with addiction.
Right. Tracy, how do you feel about getting older?
I'm looking forward to it.
How does it feel?
It feels good. Right now, it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are different stages of getting older.
Mm-hmm.
The wisdom that you gain, of course. The physical things that you see changing, of course. But the thing about it is that, like, you just are in a place where, like, the naysayers or the days in life don't matter as much. I mean, really don't matter.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't matter. That's why I said no, not at all. And at this point, what you're doing, the life that not at this point, but like all the way through, but you realize it now more than anything because of the wisdom. But the life that you're leading now is to ultimately to get you to the point where God says, "Thy good and faithful servant, well done."
Yes, ma'am.
And you can truly enjoy, and you can truly get the benefit and understand God's majesty.
What does sisterhood mean to you, V?
I would say that sisterhood means to me is a never ending connection.
Because I don't know what I'd do without y'all. I don't.
A never ending connection. You know that statement, if you have sisters, you don't need friends.
Yes.
And I think that is absolute truth. You're blessed when you do have friends, but when you have sisters, it's something that is just a never ending bond and connection that nothing will ever change.
Yes.
Girl. Oh, look at the baby.
She's got your baby.
We love you,
We
girl.
love
We're so
you.
proud of you.
Really, Veronica?
Yes.
We
Look
have
at her crying. Don't cry. You was
I'm
undone. Get it together.
Undone. Do
We
you need
love
to
you.
suck my bottom lip again?
Girl, bye. Okay, this was so good. Like, I feel like I want to do this again. Can we do like a live, like on Instagram, maybe?
Okay, let's do it.
Well, let me see the edits of this first. I need to
It's
see
no
it.
edits. It's how it
Maybe
is.
you know what? Maybe
Even
it'll
with
be,
your hot flashes and all.
No.
This is it. This
maybe
is
it'll
it.
be
This is
better.
What?
Call-ins.
Oh,
No
call.
call
Because, you know,
in.
I'm not really used to this. You know, it's kind of, I feel a little.
So that's the thing about it. You have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable.
No.
Yes,
no,
you do.
I don't like it.
That's
But
the
hold on,
pivot
we're
in
not
life.
finished.
Because I'm
Before
hot,
y'all-
I can't. My hair is, you know, I want to keep.
Girl,
you know,
your
I'm
hair is
just
cute.
tired.
Before y'all go, and you
Just
have
keep moving,
wisdom.
you know, just.
You
I
have
don't want to draw
wisdom, honey. Girl, listen. Before y'all, I want to do rapid fire.
Girl, get me on this phone. I'll talk all day, huh?
No, you're
Done.
not. You ain't not gonna talk about that.
No, not done in 60 seconds. We're gonna do rapid fire. Y'all ready?
Hit it.
Veronica, really? This was so good. Was it good? Okay. Favorite meal to cook. Favorite thing to do with your sisters. Tracy.
Go shopping.
What would people be surprised to learn about you, Veronica?
I am really quiet.
Girl, I ain't never.
I think you would be surprised to learn that about you.
What? I ain't never. What are
But
you?
I am so sweet. Go ahead.
What's on your playlist, Tracy? What are you listening to? Ratchet.
Sunshine. No, sunlight.
What?
It's
What?
about that Joe, DJ
Oh,
Khaled.
I like that
That
song too.
sunlight. Hey.
Yeah, I like
Oh,
this.
wait, I can play it for you right now.
It's rapid fire.
What would you be doing if you weren't doing your career, Veronica? What other job would you be doing?
I would be a stay-at-home mom.
I would say a president or something.
Yeah.
Well, I guess okay. So
In the
stay-at-home mom is
political.
not really a career.
Yes, it is.
That
Stay-at-home mom is a career.
Well,
honey.
I
Don't
mean,
let them
not in the
tell you
traditional
that.
sense.
Don't let Western civilization tell you stay-at-home mom is not a career. It is.
Okay, I would. So probably
That's what's wrong.
doing
They need to be
something
raising their kids.
I don't know. I would never want to be a politician though, so I'm not gonna say that.
Tracy, what would you be doing if you weren't in pharmaceutical sales?
I would definitely be in law. I would be advocating for
You'll be a lawyer,
those.
girl. You'll be a lawyer.
That's what I said. I would be in law. I said I would definitely
be.
be advocating for the less fortunate, without a doubt.
What brings you joy, Veronica?
What brings me joy?
Mm-hmm.
Just simple times with my family. Just time with my family. Uninterrupted quality time.
Tracy.
Making people smile, making people laugh. I think when you make somebody laugh, they forget they have a temporary escape from what they're doing. And I just want you to just.
Well, you know what brings me joy?
What?
Y'all.
1 and 2. 1 and 2.
So y'all, this was good. I think we can go on the road. I mean, what did you think?
I've been empty for a minute though. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna get a bigger glass the next time.
This was good.
I agree.
We got similar hair. You like my name?
We do. We're 20.
Okay, are we gonna get one snap real quick?
Okay, are you gonna take it?
Yeah. One. Big smiles. One.
No.
One. 1, 2, ready, smile. Wait, one more. Silly face.
Girl, come on.
Woohoo. Good job. I'm proud of you, ladies.
Are y'all